On the Scene with Patricia McDougall, celebrity photographer, and my co-host today is Miss
Denise Mitchem.
Denise Mitchem, and Chintana will be joining us later. And we also have
Mr. Killgo.
Mr. Keith Killgo.
That's right.
Here, the band leader of the Blackbyrds.
He is in the house, live and personal, and we are so excited to have him. And then we have also my man, Skip Kelly.
How are you doing, Patricia? Just back from Minneapolis.
Yes, we are.
For the Prince tribute concert.
That's right. So what you saw earlier, I'm going to say, Skip is in the house. We're so happy to have him back again. He is back by popular demand. How you like that? You know I had to say that, right?
I only come bringing a talented artist.
We are so excited that he's here.
Yes.
So, but before we get to my friend over here, 'cause he has so much to say, and we just love him, we're happy that he's in the house. We're showing some pictures, but the video you saw before was, where was it, Denise? Can you elaborate a little bit about that?
We were in Minneapolis, Minnesota at the XL Center for the official Prince tribute on the, it was the 13th of October.
That is correct. We was on the scene for sure, no doubt. And she can probably tell you who we have on the screen up here. There was a lot of various artists, and these were the dancers, and you had a lot of performers and singers, and you can just kind of tell
Shaka
us.
Khan and Stevie Wonder.
And who?
And we have Ron, and then Prince's brother.
In the blue. That is correct.
Myself and Stevie.
Yep, that's right. He was in the house. He really, he was all over the place. He was holding it down.
Luke
I
Cage
kid you not.
Luke Cage
Londell
and Belial. Londell McMillan, a very good friend of mine.
That's right.
Prince's lawyer.
That's right. That was
Dougie
Princess
Fresh.
Gloria. Dougie was. Oh, he had a performance.
Deborah Lee in the
Yeah,
house.
she was in there. She was hanging out with us. We were all backstage, and we was like, I mean, we were loving it. Oh my goodness! And that guy right there on the right, that's a good friend of Prince.
Belial.
And Bilal was in the house. He performed. As you could see, he was live. Oh my goodness, he was on the floor. I mean, I have a picture of him. I'll show it to you. It'll come up a little later. That was
There it is.
Belial.
So my girl here, she dragged me along, and she had me get on that plane for like 10 hours or 5 hours or 3 hours. I don't know how many hours it was. It wasn't enough, but it was worth the while. But as you can see, Stephen, you could see the background, the audience, and everybody was in the house. It was absolutely fabulous. And that picture's that right there. I love that picture. Oh my God. What? And do you know that sister's name right there? She's one of the dancers, the backup dancers. And she turned it out. She was partying and dancing and having a good time. And at the end of the day, I mean, even when it was over, it was so emotional because these are all the band members and all of the members that traveled all around the world with him. And this was the official tribute, right? Correct?
Antica.
And that's a sister, right, yeah. And so what happened was after the show was over, they brought everybody to. This was his first wife.
Maite.
Deborah Lee.
Deborah Lee.
She was in the house. Yep, she sure was. And this is where his, I guess it's a club, a nightclub, is where he made his
First
last,
Ave.
Was it
Ave
First
is right.
Ave?
First
Yeah,
Ave.
so if you're familiar. And this is his sister, correct?
That's his sister and Stevie and Londell when we were at the official after party that was
Right.
the talent was
Oh, we're going to play them later on. Let me see. Morris Day and the Times.
Morris Day was the official
yeah,
after
yeah.
party talent.
They were actually out there, right? Oh my goodness. We're gonna show a video a little later because they was at Bethesda Blues, right? And they were jamming up there. I got the last piece of that, but it's all good. It's all right. I'm gonna see them again. I mean, they're coming all the time, so it's so good. But we got the Blackbyrds coming to Bethesda, right?
Yes, we do.
So we're excited about that. Look who we have in the house. So tell us, Keith Go. How about that? The Blackbyrds.
Yes.
So I want to elaborate on that. Skip, tell us a little bit about who he is.
Keith Killgo is the band leader of the Blackbyrds, who are internationally renowned group out of Washington, D.C., DC's own.
DC in the house.
And
yes.
in fact, the
And
band came together right across the street at Howard University
Wow.
many, many moons ago. You know, we
HU,
can
you
say
know.
I
in
think
the
you were in the house.
1973,
All right. Okay.
when they were
73.
college students at Howard University.
Oh,
HU,
my.
Under the
HU,
tutelage
you know. Uh-huh.
Their professor
Okay.
at Howard University was the late, great trumpeter Donald Byrd.
Wow.
And thus the name The Blackbyrds. That was the name of Donald Byrd's first album that broke through. It was a pivotal album for jazz funk, which became known later as smooth jazz, which Donald Byrd started all with an album called Blackbyrd.
Oh, wow.
And that's where the name of the band came from. And he had all these talented students he was a music professor, and Keith was one of them. And I'll let Keith continue from there.
Oh, Keith, wow.
Well, Dr. Donald Byrd. Well, from Detroit, Michigan, he came to D.C. He used to come to D.C. on a regular basis anyway, because he used to play with my father, who was a piano player.
Wow.
And so, as he was getting his doctorate in whatever it was from Columbia, then he decided that he wanted to be, head of jazz studies department, and actually take young musicians out and give them a real taste of what the music business is really like. And it started out with a couple of guys, Kevin and Barney Perry. Barney, who wrote Walking in Rhythm, he took them out with some older musicians, and that lasted probably about 2 weeks. And then when the older guys were strangling the younger guys, he said, well, let's get rid of the old guys and get some more young guys. So that's when I came on board, and Joe Hall, and Alan Barnes from Detroit. And so it was really to bridge the gap between academia and the real world, so that young musicians would learn about publishing and copyrights and all the things that protect you in the music business for your longevity. As well as we were students of the music, because of course he played with Coltrane and Art Blakey and all the great jazz musicians. studied with Boulanger in Paris and all those types of things. So it was a work in progress. Not only were we in school at Howard, but we were in school on the road because we had assignments, we had homework, we had to do all kinds of things musically, so that every musician could read music, could write music, understood the complexities of how to analyze music and what you're listening to, instrument, the whole piece. And so it was a world-class education.
Wow.
So let me just add that Keith is the drummer of the band. So he's the heartbeat of the band, and he also does some singing with the band. And he and other members of the group, they wrote the songs for the Blackbyrds, a lot of the songs, but also you could talk about the Mizell brothers.
Yeah, as well as Larry and Fonz. Larry Mizell was an engineer or astro engineer or something kind of out there in space. And his brother, Fonz Mizell, wrote with a group called The Corporation, which wrote I Want You Back, ABC for the Jacksons. And so when he and his brother got together, Fonz was actually Donald's trumpet student. And so he introduced him to Larry, and consequently, that's what the relationship really started from there. And of course, Larry Mizell and the Mizell brothers wrote for Bobby Humphries, for LTD, for Taste of Honey, and so on and so forth. And so they influenced our first 2 records that we did, Blackbird, which would do it fluid on it, and then the second record was Flying Start, which was the hit single Walking in Rhythm. And so
which you will hear.
Yes. We learned how to write in the music business from them.
Wow.
Because they never came with any music. We had studied all this music and record read music and all that. They came with cards, A, B. So we playing a groove, B. And so pretty much that's how we learned how to write.
Wow.
And so,
best education that you
the
could possibly
best.
get.
That's right. That's right.
And was the education, even from the engineering perspective, because Larry was an engineer, and learning how, for me personally, how to tune my drums, because my bass drum sounded like a bongo for quite a while until they could figure out, what is that noise? Because I didn't know anything about recording, because live drums and recorded drums are totally 2 different things. And so, I learned on the road. But Harvey Mason and Joe Sample and those guys actually were the musicians on Donald's records. So we learned, from the best how to play those grooves. But then we created our own music behind that, So we wrote Happy Music and
Happy Music and Rock Creek Park. That's my favorite. Rock Creek Park, right? I know Skip can appreciate that, right?
DC's own Rock Creek Park.
Absolutely.
They made Rock Creek Park famous all over the world.
Yes, they did.
That record,
really
that was a hit.
That's considered a all-time classic. The younger generation all over the world, they go anywhere in the world, Asia, Europe,
anywhere.
And young people are saying, doing it in the park, doing it after dark. Everywhere, and it was also released as part of the video game Grand Theft Auto.
You gotta be kidding me! What? You get paid? How about that, right?
I know that's right.
So that
still
record,
working on it.
Yeah, that record has had a lot of life. And of course, Walking in Rhythm was a Grammy-nominated, million-selling record.
Yes, it was.
That crossed all different types of radio formats. They played it on easy listening. They played it on the pop stations, and it was like number 4 on the Billboard pop chart. So this group has had much success. In fact, I would say that out of all the bands that have come out of Washington, D.C., and there have been a lot of great individual singers. You can talk about Marvin Gaye, Roberta Flack, Donny Hathaway, on and on and on.
Yes.
But as far as bands, that the Blackbyrds are maybe the most successful band to ever come out of D.C. You got Chuck Brown, you got EU, you got the Go-Go. They had big hits, but in terms of a total career, in terms of number of songs that made the charts, I think the Blackbyrds are the number 1 successful band to ever come out of Washington, D.C.
And your favorite song is?
All of them.
All of them.
No, the beauty was that, as we were composing these songs, we were on the road most of the time. We toured all the time. And so even like for
while they were college students.
Even for Grammys and Image Awards, we never were there for any of those things because we were always traveling. And we would write. We'd go into these, kind of spurts or whatever, where we just write music, and everybody contributed. So you had your song, he had his song, and then we'd, try it out on each other, and then we would add this to it or take that away from it or whatever. And so it was a kind of a machine. So when we were ready to record, like we had 30 songs. So we had to, we had to kind of wind it down and figure out which one was that, and we recorded a lot of songs that were not released. So there are a lot of songs in the can, Fantasy Records, and that I'd like to get my hands on, but whatever.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
but we got also from a live perspective. I mean, we played with Parliament Funkadelic, the Kool and the Gang, Marvin Gaye, the Silvers, Stevie Wonder. We've been on stage with all of those acts, and had a wonderful time, wonderful experience of learning, and then coming back, to school Monday morning, and having Miss Hobson say, "Mr. Killgo, to the board," and she was sightseeing in the ear train, so she would play some crazy note, and I'd been on a plane for 6 hours. I don't know, I couldn't imagine what it was, but it was a great experience. And so that's what we are doing now. Oh, and me personally, I'm an educator. I've been teaching in Washington, D.C.
And where?
I'm at Tech Prep Middle School, which is a suicide mission, but it's okay.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Formerly known as Anacostia High.
Yeah, I was at Anacostia. And so, but it's about giving the music back. And my singer, Paul Spires, is one of my students. And if you look up just Paul, he's a rapper, from D.C., and it took him out of the hoodie hood, Chopper City, all that, all that stuff, into, I took him to Paris, the first time he'd ever been out the country.
Wow,
yeah,
amazing.
So he went to Paris, and of course, he speaks about as much, I speak maybe a little more French than he does, but it didn't matter. Right. It was the fact that so there was something else going on with the music that helped save his life, in the long short of it. So he will be performing with us on the 20th at Bethesda Blues and Jazz, and that's the goal. We will
be in the house.
That's the whole goal, is to give this whatever experiences I've received to make sure that some young people get hold to it, because it's no good just with me. Because when I'm gone, then it's gone. Mm-hmm. So
your music will live on. No
but
doubt
but
about
the
it.
experience, the personal side of knowing, and so I have a really cool little band, marching band, all that kind of stuff, and it's a real special thing because they're the next generation of the music, and you want them to be prepared.
Of course.
So just like Donald Byrd passed on his great legacy to you, you're passing on to the new generation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I teach in Ward 7, Ward 8. We all know what that's all about.
Oh my goodness.
But it's a good thing.
Right.
Because no offense to the other side of the river, but they got a lot more money that they spend on the music programs and that kind of piece. And I have to do, the instruments that we have now coming from my house. Right. So we're just getting to the point where we're actually getting some funding. And I was really, I went to DC Cap a couple of years back, and all the people that participated were from Duke Ellington or from Wilson, which is fine. It's nothing. Laurie Williams is one of my best friends. However, there's a whole lot of talent on the other side of the river.
Oh, there is. There really is. Yeah.
So that's the purpose of being able to go back and teach there and bring those kids to the forefront, because they need it and they deserve it as well.
Wow, that's awesome. Maybe we can get them out there in Atlanta. Denise,
I think we can get them out to Wolf Creek Amphitheater out for next year season. I've worked with a lot of artists that have been performing on 3-day jazz festival in Atlanta at Wolf Creek, which is run by Sandy Pogue. And she's a Howard alum, of course, as well, and a very good friend of mine. And I would love to have you out there at Wolf Creek.
We're going to make that happen.
Hey, Skip. Hey,
Atlanta,
talk to Skip.
We've been trying to get there, too.
You're trying to get there? Well, guess what? This must be your lucky day. Get Denise in the house. She'll make it happen for you. Sure. But let's play that video. How about that? Let's hear your music, because we got it going on up in here. And we're going to play a little bit of it. Absolutely. Blackbyrds.
tonight, y'all. Let's do it.
Come on. Y'all know nothing about this.
Let's get it.
On 2 and 4. Come on. Let us hear you.
right.
We was up here partying in the studio. We had Howard across the street, and we with the Blackbyrds.
Killgo.
That was live. I love it. I love it.
So I just so you heard a taste of what you're going to hear on Thursday night at Bethesda Blues and Jazz at 7:30 p.m. Okay, so it's a Thursday night. We're going to start a little early so people can get out a little early, but we're going to be partying the whole night with doing it in the park, Rock Creek Park. Happy music, walking in rhythm, do it fluid.
Oh my!
Keith Killgo and the band, they are ready to put on a show for Howard University alumni.
This is the
people in D.C. who grew up with the Blackbyrds, and also in the memory of their flute player who you saw in that video. Unfortunately, passed away this summer. The great flute player, who's the signature flute player on all the Blackbyrds' big hits, Walking in Rhythm in particular, has a great flute solo. Alan Barnes passed away this summer, a great player, and so this concert is going to be dedicated to him.
And a great time. It's Howard Homecoming this weekend as well, so it's a perfect time for us to have this and have them.
All those guys there you see are Howard University alumni.
Wow, and it's going to be really interesting.
Dave Robbins, from left to right. Dave Robbins on the keyboards, of course. Keith in the red hat.
Yes, Keith.
Orville Saunders, the guitar player, and Joe Hall holding it down on the bass.
Oh yeah.
Wow. And where is it going to be? Let us know.
At Bethesda Blues and Jazz, and you can get tickets at BethesdaBluesJazz.com. Tickets are only $25.
Can you believe that?
You cannot beat that.
What?
$25 tickets at BethesdaBluesJazz.com.
So get the ticket early because it will sell out. Is it going to be a second show? Maybe. Never know.
No,
Well,
because it's a Thursday night.
Thursday night,
If it was a Friday or Saturday, we might be able to do that like Morris Day and the Time did, but because it's a Thursday, we're going to do one show only, so get your tickets now. BethesdaBluesJazz.com.
So we want to thank him so much for coming on the show today. This is awesome.
Thank
I just want to just go back just 1 minute. We showed a video earlier before that, and that was part. I know we showed it before his video, but that was part of our event, right?
This is the official Prince tribute video.
Right. We just happened to show that first. I just want to say that he was not in that
video
band at the time, right? But the second one, of course, we all know because it was definitely live, and it was awesome. Just tell us the band members who were singing. There was a lady singing.
That was Lori Williams. Dave vocals. Paul Spires on vocals.
The gentleman he was referring to, the student.
Right?
The young guy.
Right. Thad Wilson on trumpet. The late great Alan Barnes on saxophone and flute. Orville Saunders on guitar. Joe Hall on the bass, and yours truly.
On the drums. I'm telling you, we're gonna be in the house. So we're gonna take a little break and bring back that other video for the Prince tribute. How about that?
All right.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you're not going anywhere. You just stay right here.
With us.
All right.
One more shout
take
out
a little.
before we go.
Give him
Absolutely.
another
Shout out. We love him, and we're excited.
Truly, his love for the woman, for every human being. And so, I just hope that every single day of my life, for the rest of it, that I will continue to be. Song here is a song written by another genius in this lifetime as well. But I do believe that
whole experience?
Awesomely fantastic, awesomeness, legacy of love, roadmap to unity. Every song, roadmap to unity and love.
Isn't it awesome? Peace out. Yes, it is. Wow. You can hear that. That was absolutely powerful. Oh my goodness. And Stevie was doing his thing, and the lady that you saw, she was a part of that band. And she was, it was amazing, huh, Denise? And it was more amazing. Who was there was very moving. It was very moving. It was very emotional. Tribute that they have for Prince, because all the band members, I mean, I must say maybe there's a few, though Sheila E. was not there.
Sheila E. was not there. She's actually doing something this weekend in tribute to him.
Right, but everybody was there. And so when they did the Purple Rain, it was so touching that they were like, they were all in the back, all the families, the sisters. I didn't even know he had so many family members. I really didn't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it was definitely interesting to be back there, because I've never personally met him. I know Denise, I'm sure she has many times.
I have.
You know, probably sat in his house and everything else. I mean, I don't know who's Denise, right? But anyway, we have with us our co-host. She's back, Chintana.
Thank you. So good to see you guys today.
Yes.
Finally missed you, Denise.
Hi, how are you?
I'm
Nice to meet you as
good.
well.
Right. We've been traveling, and so we were all up and down, east, west, midwest, wherever we were going. She said, "Let's go." I said, "Okay, whatever. Get the plane.
That's the way to
Get
do
the
it.
car. Get whatever. Let's go." So we showed earlier. We talked with my friend over here, Killgo. Killgo, of course, you know he's with the Blackbyrds, so we're so happy that he's on with us today.
You have done amazing work.
Thank you.
Yeah. So.
Music business is hard.
Yes, it is.
Oh, you don't have to
Things
tell
have
But
me.
you know,
so much.
it is what needed though, especially in high school and in education, because art is what help driven the creativity for the young, and teen.
Yeah, come spend a week with at my school. You might change.
Now you got an invitation. So where can they find you then if they want to come and be a part of volunteer?
Well, I'm at Tech Prep Middle School, which is on Milwaukee Avenue, right across the street from St. Elizabeth's. Probably where I'll end up after I teach in there. But there's wonderful. It's a lot of talent in that ward. That's Ballou, Anacostia, all in that same ward, Congress Heights. And they need music, they need art, they need dance, they need theater, they need the whole piece, because I mean there's a need, and a lot of kids, one of the issues that I have is that their parents won't let them take their instruments home to practice.
Right.
So they can only practice at school. So my days are very long because I have an after-school program, which gives them the opportunity to practice, to get lessons, and so on and so forth. So it's something that it's going to be an ongoing kind of thing.
Wow. Well, we're so happy you're able to join us today. So I want to just show a couple of things, because we up against time. So I want to show number 7. It's a reinvention weekend, and so Melanie had a big conference here in the DC area, and it was awesome. It was so motivational, and it talked about being motivated and how to be your own boss and do things that you want to do. And she held a workshop. It was like she actually has a book out that says, "Are you ready to become your own boss?" workshop. And I mean, it was very moving, because I learned a lot about the internet and tweeting and Facebook and multitasking. I mean, I know how to multitask anyway.
This is true.
I do, right?
This is true.
Yes. So we were there. They had a reception the day before. She had a really nice crowd. As you can see of all the speakers there on the board. It was so interesting. I mean, and they had some powerful key speakers at her events on Saturday. They had a reception on Friday, and all day. Yes, Brown was in the house. He's doing his thing, and I mean, who was who? And there's Melody. It was her birthday, so I want to say happy birthday to my sister here. She really enjoyed herself, and of course, I have to get a picture in there as well. And it was called Reinvention Weekend, and who was in the house? as you can see. And we have, did they show you a picture of you, Denise, in that little frame? I mean, I have it up there for them to see now. And we're going to make sure we show that one as well. As you can see, the reinvention, they had all the major speakers in there. And we were just having fun. I actually interviewed them behind that little, there's Leah. Is that what? She don't have curly hair anymore right now. There you go, Denise. Represent. She was in the house holding it down. So we want to give a shout out to all who came out, even Kim. She actually turned me on to my new friend, Melanie, so I want to thank her for that. So we're going to move right along. And now we also, we was up there with Morris Day and the Times. Speaking of Morris Day, and we have a few pictures we want to show, and you can tell us a little about Morris Day, where we were for Morris Day and the Times, and we'll show some pictures, and we're going to show we'll show the video
Day
later.
Actually performed at the official Prince tribute, and then after that they were at Bethesda Blues and Jazz on Friday evening, and it was great to see them perform. I actually saw them perform about 2 years ago, New Year's, in Atlanta at Phillips Arena with my good friend Ronald Isley and the Isley Brothers.
And this group right here, she had a birthday party. We just saw her in church this morning.
Sharon.
There's Denise looking in that
Sharon is a
beautiful
wonderful attorney here in Washington, D.C. She's a Harvard professor as well, trained at Georgetown Law School, but she's a phenomenal friend of mine.
All right. Okay. Wow. Look at that. And we also have my other friend, Miss Denise. She was in the house too. We want to show her picture for sure. Because I said, oh, no, we can't show that one. Okay. Well, that's all right. We'll come back to her a little later. But we also did, we want to talk about two things. One more is Tommy. Everybody knows my condolences to Tommy.
Ford family.
The Ford family. He actually, I actually did his last video, believe it or not. He was actually speaking at the National Press Club, and I videotaped him speaking, and he actually said, I
got a job.
I got a job.
Wow.
And I think his job was coming back home. That's all I could think of because, you know, to pass on for what he did, something to do with the knee. You know, you never know when your time's up. But he said, and I taped this whole entire video from the time he moved out of that chair to the time that he went up to the podium with Miss Faye Williams. She had a nice event, all the way up until he sat back down in his chair.
Wow. You know, this year is the year that we lost so many amazing. Prince passed away, and so many
Vanity.
great
Kashif.
Yeah.
Vanity, who worked also with Prince, who's Denise, a good friend of mine.
Right. And the big loss that I'm from Thailand originally. So the king of Thailand had just passed away this past week. And it was a big loss for a lot of Thai and Thai American.
But he looks young.
He is 88 years old.
This is an old picture.
Some of them are older, some of them younger.
Oh, I was
yes.
going to say.
But you know, the amazing thing about the king is this, that many people, this king that have power and then live life in a different way, separate from the people. But this king is a king that with the people. He does not live in the palace. He lives where the poor is. Yes, he helped pave the road.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's like oh my God, that's like almost million of people. They all came out to support and to show love, because this is like what, oh my gosh, it is part of Thailand phenomena. He passed this Thursday.
Okay.
I mean, I was crying for almost 2 days.
I'm sure.
It is kind of thing that you think of. People ask me, so why did so many Thai people cry over the king? He's just one of the leader. I say he's not just one of the leaders.
Well, they felt him. He was. I'm sure he did wonderful things.
Think of him as your father. Imagine your father passed away. I think that's a kind of legacy that he has. You know, due to Thailand and so many other. So President Obama met him, and his description for him was grace and warm.
Wow.
So he's the king of the king.
That's, well, my condolences go out to the family. But we also had another loss in the community. He's the community civil rights activist, Jimmy Huger. He died at 101.
Wow.
So, and he did a lot in the civil rights era. So, I know he just passed, and so we want to send out condolences to the family as well. You know, it always comes in threes. That's what they say, right? And yes, and so I just want to say I had another girlfriend who lost her mom today, and my condolences to her, my daughter's grandmother.
And Tim
And she was
Stanfield,
young, and
who works the videographer over at the National Human Civil Rights Museum, who lost his mother also on Thursday. We wanted to give our condolences to him as well.
So we just want to give a shout out and say that our prayers are with the family as well. And moving right along, I attended another event, and it was called the Million Women Mentors. And so that one is number 9. Okay, and we want to show that very quickly. Jan was actually at that one, and that's Miss Edie Frazier doing her thing always. No, I know, I'm just showing the picture, right? And she's she has a book out. It's called the Million Women, right? Is that what it is, Miss? As you can see, the Million Women Mentors.
It's STEM education book that she puts out.
And
on
Lisa's
STEM
in the house. I
education.
have to give a shout out. She was in there. So Edie Frazier puts that on, right? And that's my girl.
Oh, that's
Gloria.
Gloria Herndon,
Love
Maya
her.
Angelou's cousin.
She was in the house, so I want to give a shout out because Edie is doing some wonderful things. They actually had their summit in their gala. I wasn't able to participate. I think Denise was out of town at the time, but it was wonderful. And there's so much going on in the DC area, and we stay so busy.
Michael Morris.
We can't be everywhere. That's all I'm going to say. Even though I want to be everywhere, I can't be everywhere because you all know, you probably don't know, I have a full-time job. And so I have to get there to get paid, right? So, but for the most part, I just want to give out to Howard University, too. They actually have homecoming this week. And Denise might tell us who might be there this week. Do you know any of them?
Chance the Rapper, and they expect Chance the Rapper. They have Rihanna, Jay-Z, Kevin Gates. Are some of the people that they have coming in for. I think Jay-Z might, come through this year, and Drake.
And Drake, yeah. Alexander's in the house, too. Shout out to Alexander. He's my photographer.
That's a big week. So
It's a busy week here
if
at
people
Howard
want to
University
come
Homecoming.
to this week, where they can find out about the information.
Well, his event, we already know how to find out about
We're
that,
gonna
right?
say it again.
We're going to say it
October-
again.
Yeah, October
20th at Bethesda Blues and Jazz, the Blackbyrds, live. Howard University homecoming kickoff.
That's right, in the house. So I just want to say, I want to thank everybody for joining us on the show today.
Thank you.
Kilgore.
Thank you. Say it again.
Thanks to Keith for coming out to be with us today.
Thank
We
you very
appreciate
much.
you taking out your time, and we're just happy to have you here today. Skip,
We love
always
Skip.
love Skip coming out and being a part as well today.
In the house. So thank you so much. Patricia McDougall on the scene, celebrity photographer. If you want to join us on the next show, just inbox me, email me at pmcdougall6@gmail.com. And we want to thank Denise, our co-host, for joining us today, and Chintana, our other co-host as well. We're always in the house doing our thing. So we thank you for joining us and listening in every Sunday at 2 o'clock.
Come on,